I guess at this point it makes sense for our viewers to understand a bit about Bunnyshell. So in short, Bunnyshell is an environment as a service that is accessible as a software as a service. So basically, you pay to use environments. You pay Bunnyshell to deploy your environments, and Bunnyshell deploys these environments in the user's cloud. So basically, users connect their own cloud. We have enterprise-ready features from, I know, zero downtime deployments to role-based authentication and access control. And I guess the most interesting idea in Bunnyshell is taking infrastructure as code one step higher and defining environments as code. So we make use of various technologies to like Docker, Kubernetes, Helm, or Terraform, or generic scripts to define the environments and make them easy to deploy and reproducible and automate all that away. Environments in Bunnyshell comprise of services like web servers, queues, caches, databases, uh, applications that we build from your Git repositories, and variables. Environment variables are the glue that hold everything together. And on top of this, we define workflows that allow defining specific steps in which all of these are deployed and how to automate the environment. Now, specifically, ephemeral environments in Bunnyshell. They are great for, there are the ephemeral environments in Bunnyshell are environments in Bunnyshell that are created for a specific use case. For example, automatically on pull request, and are there just for the lifetime of the pull request. They're created automatically, destroyed automatically, have a short life. They're reproducible. Not the they're similar. I wouldn't say reproducible in the sense of bitwise reproducible, but they're pretty much identical except for, I don't know, URLs maybe. And they're great for integrating with into existing pipelines for CI/CD. Now, these environments are very relevant in the whole context of shifting left. Shifting left means, of course, moving QA and security concerns um, as early as possible in the software development life cycle, and this leads to early detection of issues and better overall quality of code, but also accelerates time to market. So teams can move quickly by adopting this shifting left all the as much testing as possible. So testing in particular, we want to do more better. We want to do end-to-end and allow for manually and automatically testing environments. So the benefits of doing end-to-end testing automatically with ephemeral environments in Bunnyshell. So first of all, it's easy to test in parallel. Each environment is isolated from all other environments, and you can basically, for each pull request, run full environment tests in parallel. And you can automate this and integrate in existing pipelines. And the best thing, I guess, is being able to test on the real thing. No need to mock anything. So, Laura, your environments, I think, have close to, I don't know, somewhere between 10 and 20 services. So you don't need to mock any of those. You have real services, and you write your codes, your test code to interact with those services. No mocks. So the test, you're able to run the test automatically in parallel and in a cost-efficient way. Overall, you get increased test capacity, high automation. The test can be destructive. Don't need to worry about destroying the environment. And in the end, you get high quality code, but also great developer experience. Developers love it, QA engineers love it, and the teams overall have build more, faster, better code. Okay, now this is in theory, and I'm sure pretty much people want to see some real action. So let me, how do you want to do this? Do you want to share some of your, the screen with your environments and your setup and walk us through, or?
Sure. So
Sure.
I'm going to start by giving, I think, maybe a little bit of context of how we got here and how we got to the conclusion that we needed Bunnyshell solution.
Sure.
So basically, one of our I'm going to start sharing my screen anyway, so we have something. Oh, I don't think I can. You have to allow me to do
Oh,
that.
yep. Oh, wait a second.
Anyways, so in the meantime, basically, one of the challenges we had is, and I think a lot of people can resonate with this, is that getting stuff into production took a very long time. Because what happens is you start working on a feature or bug fix, it happens on a branch, and then once that fix is done or that feature is implemented, like a whole suite of things need to happen afterwards. It needs to go through code review. That takes time, right? Having people on the rest of the people on your team coming in and looking what you've done takes time. And then only after that you can give it to the QA team to start looking over it. They find issues, then it has to go back to development. And with a traditional, let's say, setup where everything gets dumped into a dev server or you test, you never get to a point where you have a releasable version unless you lock down the code, right? So you lock down the version that's deployed on dev.
Sorry
Which
to
does it
interrupt, Laura. You should be able now to share the screen. Just
super.
let me know if that works.
Yes.
Cool. Back to you.
Right. Yeah, one moment. Oof. So small technical issue is that I haven't allowed Zoom to access my screen. So I don't think
Happens every now and then. So
no.
you might need to restart Zoom or just
Yeah, I probably need
yep.
to restart Zoom, unfortunately.
No worries.
All right.
I'll be
I will be back momentarily. Sorry.
waiting for you. Okay. So while Laura prepares her Zoom setup, should be like less than half a minute. So I've been personally involved in designing. Oh, there she is again. Hey, Laura.
Hey, so I think I'm back. Give me a moment.
Okay, let me make you co-host again, I think. Make co-host. Yeah.
All right, let's try this again. Super. Yes. Can you see my screen? No, it's not. Hold on.
No.
Now it should be.
Yep.
Great. All right. So, yeah, getting back a little bit to what I was saying earlier is that in a traditional setup, where you put everything on dev and then you wait for QA to do a pass, everything moves very, very slowly. So what we wanted to do is make things happen in parallel, right? So ideally, code review and the QA check should happen at the same time. So this is where the Bunnyshell ephemeral environments come in. And the way our process looks right now is that, it starts the same way. You work on a branch for a particular feature or bug fix. But the moment you do a pull request, what happens is that we have this development environment, which is the base. It's kind of our pre-production environment. And it's the setup that then gets copied every time we do a pull request. All these other environments are created automatically. So I very quickly clicking on one of them, you can see that we have a whole bunch of containers in here for everything that we need, from our microservices to either support things like services like Rabbit and Solar and our front end as well. And the one thing we mock is the integration with Stripe, right? So we still need that part. So all of this, there's quite a few containers here, and you can see most of them are pulling from dev, but some of them have a different branch, and this is basically the ones that have been changed. So every time there is a new feature developed, a new environment spins up. And while that PR is still open, the development team can do their code review in due time. The QA team can do their checks, and we have a whole suite of automated tests that are running on it as well. So some of them are unit tests running on the back end, and some of them are a front end, end-to-end tests running through Playwright. So this is kind of what it's looking right now. And another thing about these environments, obviously, they're like Alex, you're saying, they disappear on their own as soon as the pull request is closed. So when we approve it, then we merge everything back into dev. The environment is closed, so it allows us to be also efficient with our resources. And I think this is a feature you launched some time ago, but it wasn't there from the beginning, and we really love it. It does happen to us specifically that we have a lot of things in development at the same time. So we right now, the number of environments you see here is low, to be fair. So sometimes it's double this, and obviously it doesn't make sense to have all these running all the same time. So we have the option to configure them that when they start up, they don't launch automatically. We can go in and start the ones that we want to test. So yeah, some of the benefits that we're seeing from these ephemeral environments is definitely the fact that you can test everything end to end in terms of, like you said, no, you don't need to mock any services. You can make sure that everything interacts correctly, that the whole flow that you need to test is working well. And more recently, we've even started using it for other things like spinning up environments where we can test integrations, or we can test new features that are maybe in beta or in a private beta. So you can show them to a limited number of users before they make it to production, get their feedback. So it has a lot of use. It's not just limited to the development and the QA team.
Yeah, we call those preview environments. Well, that use case, really, we call it preview. Okay.
Yeah, so those are very practical as well. So basically, like I said, all these environments that you see with dev and bug fix, these are spun up from PRs. And then there are some additional complexities in here, but we were able to manage it well. Most of these web services are not accessible publicly. Only some of them are exposed. So we have the gateway. That's basically the entry point that does the authentication and authorization of every request. And then we have the front end portals, which are the admin and the marketplace and the provider portal. And to show you quickly how that works, I think I need to go here to a URL and click on it. And this is just like a completely separate environment. I can log in. Hopefully I do have an account here I can log in with. Yeah. So I can log in and do my tests or show certain features, and it's independent from any other work that's being done. So obviously, if you're working on a new feature, you know that any issues that are coming up from QA can be fixed isolated on that same branch, and you can test them again on this environment, and it doesn't affect our release cycles or anything.
And how about those end-to-end tests? You mentioned you're using Playwright.
Yes, we're using Playwright, and obviously, again, some of the complexities that we have with Playwright is that even with the API test that we do on the back end, normally when you do like a unit test, let's say, or an integration test, a lot of the things when it comes to microservices, because we have so many interactions in different code bases, a lot of it gets mocked, and it's really hard to determine if the entire process actually works. So to sort of fix that, let me click very quickly here to this other end-to-end project. I will open this one. So we started writing our end-to-end tests that don't test just one piece of the puzzle, one service or one portal, but they can check that things happen across the entire environment, right? So let me see, where is it? Playwright. Test market. Here we go. This one. So basically what happens is, again, when the pull request is created, this ephemeral environment that gets created, and we have some containers here that run our end-to-end tests. And once they're finished running, we have access to this report that tells us, okay, which tests ran, how many passed, how many failed, and you have visibility over what the problems is, and you can click into it and see exactly what the test did and what happened with it. So yeah, again, this is very practical when we're talking about let's say a more distributed system, because we have different types of roles, different types of users that in the end need to exchange information, and testing this automatically until now, has proven a real challenge. Just because setting up that full environment with a full set of test data was pretty complicated otherwise.
Cool. And just to give people a sense of the size of your workload, I'd say. So I think I daily see, like I pretty frequently see days where you have upwards of 30 ephemeral environments created.
Yes.
And but I think from what I've discussed with you and the team in the past, that there's only one QA person in your team. Am I right?
That's true. Yes.
So the QA person, I presume, is focusing on writing QA tests and doing some. I assume there's also a fair amount of manual testing happening, but you can be sure that I guess once you write those tests, basically write test once, and then all future environments can benefit from the written test.
Yeah, that's right. We try to have as high as possible of a test coverage, because again, with the limited QA resources that we have, we want to make sure that we put them to the best use. There's always things that you need to check manually to ensure that it works, and from an actual person's point of view, everything makes sense there on the page. And because our platform is pretty complex, like recently we did a review of it's like high-level user flow. We have over 400 of them. So obviously we can't put manual QA resources into testing all of these before release. So it's very important that we have good test coverage that can check basically on every environment, every new release, every new feature that we're working on, that it is fully backwards compatible, and that we don't break anything that used to work.
Cool. I think we've moved on pretty efficiently in time, I'd say. I think we've covered most of what we're planning, and I think it makes this makes it a good time to restate some of the benefits of doing end-to-end tests with ephemeral environment. So let me just read that for you from my slide here. So first of all, increasing testing capacity. You can have any number of tests running in parallel, but isolated from each other. Highly automated. Yeah, you can still do things manually, but you could integrate this into your pipeline, or let Bunnyshell automate it for you. The tests can be destructive. You don't need to worry about preserving the environment sanity, let's say. Then you no need to mock almost anything. Like Laura said, still mock your Stripe APIs, but the rest of
external services or something else, right? Where we don't need to test those.
Yeah. So very little mocking needed, and overall, the higher level benefits, other than these features, let's say that the team moves faster, builds better, faster code, and the developers love it, and the QA engineers love it. So looking for really inviting as many people out there following us to test ephemeral environments, test end-to-end automatic testing. And if you decide to do this with Bunnyshell, then that would make us really happy. Otherwise, still a good choice, still the right way to go.
Yeah, I want to add a few things here related to the benefits. So from our perspective, I think before implementing this, the Bunnyshell ephemeral environments, realistically, it probably took us about a month to be able to release something, especially when we talked about something more consistent in terms of features. Going through the entire QA process was very time consuming, right?
Yeah.
So even with the automated tests, right? So just setting them up and running them, it's still it complicated things. So with the ephemeral environments in place, we do usually on average a release a week, sometimes even more. If we have some quick updates or fixes or anything like that that we want to put out there, it can even be like two or three releases a week. So we've definitely sped up our release cycle quite a bit. And yes, the team also definitely loves it because there's no more discussion like, oh, I found this bug on dev. What could have caused it? Like we have 7 different features on it, and we're trying to figure out who's responsible and who should pick up the ticket. So now it's very clear, right? Like we have a very isolated feature that we're testing, and we know exactly where the problem is. Like if it happens on that environment, but not on the other ones, like it's clear where the issue is coming from. So that plus the end-to-end tests has ensured that we have a lot less back and forth between QA and the development team, and we can definitely put things live much sooner. And yes, everything is automated. So we have outside of Bunnyshell, really what we use is Bitbucket and the Bitbucket pipelines. So we kick things off from Bitbucket with a pull request, and then everything sort of happens in Bunnyshell. And if any issues are found, they're pushed back into Jira, and that's it's as simple as that. So we don't need a lot of systems. I think at one point, long time ago, I was looking at Jenkins, and it's a great tool still, but it's very complicated to set up, right? So we're big fans of simple to use systems. Yeah.
Yep, I understand. I know we do have people that use Bunnyshell integrated into Jenkins, and yep, we've had some work to do to get things working properly. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I see we don't have any questions, so that's fine. I think we've moved quickly, and let's try to keep it efficient and provide great value for time. So with that, I'm trying to draw a conclusion here, and thank you, Laura, for joining us and sharing your experience with Bunnyshell. And for everyone else looking into evaluating the idea of ephemeral environments and Playwright and Bunnyshell, we have in Bunnyshell we have templates that would make it easy for you to get started. So you could probably deploy your first automated tests in Bunnyshell within 1 or 2 days. And we'll be happy to get you started if you need our assistance. Just reach out.
I can vouch for that because Alex has been very helpful with having both with the initial setup and with the end-to-end tests, and we've relied a lot on his experience on setting these up to speed up our process as well. So thanks.
Cool. My pleasure. Our pleasure, really. Cool. So that's it, everyone. Thank you, Laura, and looking forward to having more tests.
Yeah, definitely are coming. Thanks,
Cool.
everyone.